I'll read them off real quick, man. So we have I said Levi Walker. Jeez Louise. Levi Wallace, corner, obviously. Montravius Adams, D lineman. Miles Killebrew, All-Pro, Pro Bowler, special teams captain, and safety. Marcus Golden, shout out to MG. Edge rusher, Quan Alexander, hit the Quan. Linebacker, James Pierre, a.k.a. Pierre Island, a.k.a. Deke's Island Boy. Shout out to the Island Boys. Okay, James Pierre, corner. Armand Watts, D-line. Shannon Sullivan, corner. More of a slot. Blake Martinez, linebacker, or as Deke refers to him, the Pokemon Bandit. Mason Rudolph, QB, a.k.a. Rudolph. Then after that, Miles Boykin, wide receiver. Michael Walker, linebacker. Godwin Igwebuike, return specialist. Elijah Riley, safety / slot corner. Chappelle Russell. Yo, shout out to Chappelle. And then we got Christian Kuntz. Shout out to Christian. Chartier Valley legend. Rennell Wren, D lineman. And then Dylan Cook, left tackle. So, starting at the top, Levi Wallace. You bringing him back? Or is Ye going away?
I'm not stressing it.
Yeah.
I think you're viewing him as a third corner if you're bringing him back, like depth guy.
Yeah.
And that's probably right. Like, I don't think we'd be the only team that looks at him like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could bring him back for like $3 million or something.
Yeah, I ain't tripping on that. I think 4 or
I'm
less
not stressing
works.
I'm not stressing if he leaves though.
Yeah, 4 or less, I like it. Definitely like him as my third. I know if I had to get out of a stadium, he could get me out of it in a 2. I don't want him as my 1 though, so we wouldn't have to because we got JPJ. So yeah, I like it. I'll bring him back too, man. I'll bring him back.
Yeah, I would bring him back. I'm not pursuing him crazy because I'm looking for his upgrade.
I would agree.
In free agency and in the draft if I can.
Yeah.
So if he's not willing to settle for CB3
or
that
ball.
role,
Yeah.
then you just got to move on, part ways.
Yeah.
If he can find a CB2 job somewhere else, best of luck to him. I don't know if he's there at this point in his career. Maybe a team with like a really cornerback needy team, maybe they would take him.
Well, because I think he'll still be able to get about 4, maybe even 5 in the right team.
Yeah, hell, I mean, Kyler Witherspoon
Like,
started last year, so anything's
he'll
possible.
be able to get a deal, but to me, it's just like we don't want to overpay for it because we're more familiar with it. But he is still a good player, but you just gotta understand the role of it. So yeah, for the right price, I do like him. All right, next up, Montravius Adams. How we feeling about him? He'll be 20. He's actually 29 as well as Levi Wallace is 29. Also, he made 2.5 last year.
Yeah, bring him back. Something around there.
Yeah.
Something on the cheap.
They gave us quality snaps, man. Could play the nose tackle. Could play the 5. Plays any of the 1 technique or the 3 technique. We go to nickel package. Really good effort. We saw him make splash plays with some of his effort, chasing, hitting, and stuff like that, man. Good play. Just a good player from that standpoint. So, and it also gives me a little bit more depth at the position. Yeah. All right. Miles Killebrew. Yes, I want Miles Killebrew back. Special teams matter, and he is a dog with capital D, and he's a good guy, man.
I think you have to bring him back.
Yeah, good for the locker room, man. Heck
Right,
yeah.
that's true too.
Like, just across the board, I think he checks a ton of boxes off. Even when you talk about the leadership stuff he talked about on the show when we had him on for the interview, just speaking on the difference of, year 1 trying to be a leader out there, taking away from his play, talking and trying to do that portion of it versus year 2, saying, man, let me focus back on me as a player and lead by example. Them dudes will catch up when they catch up. So I do like that, man. So yeah, I like it. All right, Marcus Golden.
Well, it depends on whether or not we bring in Bud Dupree.
Yeah, this is a tough one because I'm like, before I thought of Bud, then I would be over here like, absolutely, 100%. Yes, bring MG back right now. But when I think of Bud,
I think the answer is still yes. Then in a vacuum,
Right.
We could bring him back.
Yeah, so I'm like,
I would take Bud Dupree over him, but if the Bud Dupree stuff doesn't work out, I think it's a slam dunk to bring in.
And he's
Golden.
cheaper too. He's also cheaper. Both of them are familiar. It's just, to me, Bud was the first rounder, homegrown, played
coming off
here.
of 6.5 sacks.
Yeah,
too.
bring him back. And he was starting down there too. Whereas with Marcus, he was rotating up here. But if I don't want to spend the money on Bud, 100% give me Marcus. Yeah, I like it. All right.
There's too many connections for Bud not to come back here. Obviously the Pittsburgh one, but Arthur Smith being here too.
Yeah.
And Bud Dupree signed with the Titans, Arthur Smith's former team.
And TG is, I said TG.
So much going
and
on.
TJ is here too.
Yeah.
That was his running mate. He had his best season playing next to TJ.
Quan Alexander.
Yeah, because it's super cheap and he's off the Achilles. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, it's cutthroat business. So I was kind of cool with it being like, yo, we're just going to let you kind of, because you got to recover. Yeah. It's the business.
It might be a Miles Jack scenario.
Because this is rehabbing. I'm paying him to rehab.
Yeah, so what do you mean by that? You would bring him back or you wouldn't?
No, I'm saying if I bring him back, I'm paying him to rehab, essentially.
Right.
Because he's not going to be playing in September. Not playing in October. Probably looking at November time frame. And then at that stage,
what's the
does it look like?
time frame for the Achilles now?
Achilles is going to take a minute. Just in the sense of we talk ACLs, right? You can come back from the ACL in, was it 6 months? But are you back from the ACL in 6 months?
It used to be a year. They definitely shortened it down, right?
So you can
like
get
maybe 9
back.
months,
Right.
6 to 9 months.
I thought it was like for the Achilles or the ACL?
ACL.
Yeah, ACL 6 to 9. I thought Achilles like 10 to a year. That was like 10 to 12.
Yeah, I was going to say 9 to a year, typically.
But
Aaron Rodgers
it's
almost
also,
did in 2 months.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers talking about playing quarterback, and we're talking about an explosive athlete, running, change of direction, push, pull. That's a lot. And he's 30. Yeah, he's 30. That's my only thing. That Achilles on. Yeah. That's the bad one.
I would just bring him back just because
we paid him 1.3 last year. So that's why I'm like, pay him to rehab.
I respect the dude so much.
Yeah.
I think I just bring him back for
pay
that.
Pay him to rehab, man. I ain't tripping on it. All right. James Pierre. The Island Boy.
It's over.
You done with the Island Boy?
Yeah, it's over.
The Island Boy's done.
It's over.
Oh, man.
Yep, it's over.
Oh, man. Jeez, Deke. I mean, I don't hate it.
It's
over.
It's absolutely over because you're drafting a cornerback.
And I got Corey Trice coming back too.
Yep, Trice. The only value Pierre gives you is really on special teams at this point.
Yeah,
it's over. It was a good run.
That definitely was. Armon Watts.
Huh.
This is an interesting one right here, man.
Yeah, he was. I mean, if we bring him back in Montravius Adams, we're not addressing D-line at all, or we shouldn't.
That would be a cheaper way to do it versus drafting or spending more in free agency.
Yeah, bring him back for the depth. Your D-line's set then. You got Watts, Hayward, Adams, Benton, Ogunjobi, and either like Liao or Loudermilk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed.
I agree. I'm
not trying to draft interior defensive line early or focus on him in free agency.
Yeah.
So he's the perfect type of depth guy.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, man. Whenever you allow Armon Watts or Montravius Adams to leave, that's okay in terms of the thought process. But we also got to remember that it's multifaceted. So if he leaves, we got to bring somebody else in. The money that we were spending there, we got to spend somewhere else anyways. So, yeah, Montravius Adams and Armon Watts last year combined for $3.7 million. I'm like, yeah, I like that. And both of them dudes played quality snaps, especially down the stretch where we talked about Armon Watts being one of the reasons why we weren't seeing as much of Liao at times, right? And it was like, man, okay, but Armon Watts is playing really well and really consistent. So, yeah, I'm with it, man. I like it.
Shannon Sullivan.
How you feeling?
I don't care. He wants to come back for cheap, fine. I mean, he didn't destroy us. Yeah. There was a bad moment or two I remember, but yeah, it didn't kill us. Yeah, you're talking about this slot corner position. It's weird because we've proven over the last like 5-6 years we don't value it like that. We let Mike Hilton walk. We patched that up with Arthur Millette. he walks, and then we patch it up with Chandon Sullivan. Dudes that are on, like, what are these, vet minimum type of contracts, million or two. And they've played good. I just think he's replaceable is what I'm saying.
Shoot, I'm over here like, okay, we could let Sullivan walk in. All right, Elijah Riley, you get your opportunity over here right now.
That. Yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world. It's almost like Levi Wallace in a way.
Yeah. Now, in a way, yes, I would still rather have Levi. I think we would feel the Levi loss a little bit more than the Sully loss. I think it's easier to replace Chandon Sullivan right now than what Levi Wallace at least was giving us.
I think Levi would. I don't want Levi as our CB2, but I think he'd be more valuable in a pinch.
Yeah.
Playing outside for a full game if JPJ goes down or whoever our CB2 is.
I would agree.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Blake Martinez. No.
I'm a pass on Blake. I ain't tripping on Blake, but I'm a pass on Blake.
We know what that signing was. Yeah. It was just try to get us out of 2023.
Look, man, we was a moment of weakness. We needed to find something.
Yep.
You feel me? Lights was coming on. It was like, yo, last call. Deke said, all right, bro, I'm leaving with something. That's what he said.
Mason Rudolph. Yes. Bring him in.
No, I want Rudolph back. Bring him back.
That's the competition I want.
Bring him back. Now he's stunting on that boy. Bring him back. Now he's stunting on him. Hey.
I think it's the most natural thing to do. Or, again, what Mason does or what he decides, that's on him. But for the Steelers, I think it's the way to go about it. You got to see Mason firsthand for those last 4 games. The offense looked different. The offense looked better than we've seen that whole last season.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it would be a good competition between him and Kenny.
Yeah.
Make a lot of sense.
I like it. It's familiarity, too, man. It's one less person that you got to worry about. Do they fit? Can they learn the system? Are their culture fit? What's going on here? It's like, nah, you already got that continuity. You already know everything.
I think Mason's got good ceiling, too.
Yeah.
You're talking about Justin Fields or talking about bringing in guys that have somewhat of a ceiling, like him or like a Sam Darnold or Zach Wilson, whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, what I saw out of Mason, I'll say it again. You replicate what you did for those 4 games, you're a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
That's a ceiling right there.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just bring him back? The guy that you've had this whole time waiting in the wings. The guy that you drafted. The guy that had his teammates' support.
Yeah, vocally.
That became a leader out of nowhere,
man.
right?
Heck yeah.
Like, you got to see all that firsthand. Miles Boykin.
That's my teamer. You know I'm down for the teamer to come back.
I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, I mean.
You know I'm down for the teamer to come back. Come on, teamer. Pull up.
It's whatever for me.
Tough guy. Get your tackles. Force fair catches. I like his energy.
Yeah, it's not going to kill us. Bring him back.
Nah.
Because he's pretty good at special teams.
Yeah, that's he carved out his role. They said at that level, man, you either a superstar, a rotational guy, or you a teamer. Or you're a practice squatter.
And I think whenever we say bring him back, it doesn't necessarily have to mean for the 53.
Yeah.
Bring him back for, your 5th or 6th receiver competition for that. And see how maybe one of those other receivers that's in that competition, see how they do in special teams.
Whether that's a late draft pick, that's somebody that we might be excited on for receiving upside, but we're saying, hey, can he cover kicks like this guy, or can he rush punts like this guy?
Right. So yeah. I think it's worthwhile. Man. Michael Walker.
Ooh, and shout out to you, Stoogie McClaw. He also brought up that Miles Boykin blocks really well also, which is definitely true. I would agree.
Michael Walker.
For the right price. Because athletically, he gives me a lot. Atlanta, he had his best season down there. I thought he had positive moments here. I just thought as a whole, we need him more buttoned up with the nuance of the defense. One of the things that stood out to me was when we talked about him and that matchup with Zeke Elliott. And we're watching Zeke kind of get at him, and I'm just like, it's certain things that you got to understand in this defense you just can't do. And I think that that's one of the things for him that I look at the same way I looked at Mark Robinson. I just feel like this is more of the athlete version, whereas Mark was more of the physical thump version. But with Michael Walker, bro, I think like he could be really good. I think that he's a dude that I would like to have back to at least push them dudes in that room because athletically, you can make a case he is your best athlete in there, bro. But the thing is, you got to get him consistently seeing what he's supposed to see and consistently having good technique and stuff. That's the thing that makes Landon Roberts so much better, is because he sees what he's supposed to see every single time. Athletically, E-Rob can't hold a candle to Michael Walker in terms of sideline to sideline coverage and stuff. But E-Rob's the better player right now because he's so locked in on what he's supposed to see. He doesn't have a lot of false steps. He doesn't make a lot of like bad reads. So he's seeing it. He's getting there on time or early. Whereas Walker is like, yo, you looking here and now you trying to get back to that. So that's my only thing, man. But I do like him.
Yeah, almost goes back to what I said
and
about
he's cheap too. I think he's
Miles
cheap.
Boykin. Yeah, if you could bring him in on $1 million contract or something, why not compete for linebacker 4 or whatever?
Yeah, because I'm not thinking of him as my starter. I still would look at Patrick Queen as option 1 if I'm going out there and testing the market. But when I think of who's my 4th linebacker in that room now, yeah, Michael Walker could definitely be number 4 in that room, man.
With Robinson.
Like 100%, he could be in that. Because now I'm looking at Cole, E-Rob, Queen, and that's the one. You see what I mean? I'm like, we not tripping on Michael Walker there. We were looking at Michael Walker starting, and yeah, at that stage, that was a little bit more on his plate. But, yeah.
Godwin Igwebuike. I think you got to bring him back.
That's the return man, bro.
Yeah.
And he had the highlight play. So he's a smart player. I like that.
Yeah, it's almost like going from Canada to Arthur Smith as OC. Same thing at kick returner, going from gunner to this guy. Yeah, it's an upgrade. So let's keep him.
Why do I not like your analogy, bro?
It's an upgrade.
Oh boy said, yeah. It's like
dude didn't fumble
Arthur Smith
and actually
this is like gunning it.
Gained some yards, got us some decent field position as the season went on. That's what I was wondering about him.
Explosive play, bro. He has some explosives.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering early on. I'm like, why the hell is this dude back there? Throw McFarland. At least McFarland's got some better speed.
You are funny, man.
But then, yeah, as time went on, he made some plays in the return game. He got us an extra like 10 yards or so.
Okay.
So I'll give him props. Yeah, I'd bring him back.
You know, I'm down. I ain't tripping on it.
I think you got to have him compete at RB3, though.
Yeah.
Because if we get an RB3 in there that is as good of a return man as Godwin, then he's gone. If you got a better running, you get what I'm saying? You get a better, like, actual running back, but a guy that can do the return duties like him, then you keep that guy over Godwin. But
or you go find Derrick Henry, and then we put Jalen Warren as a return man. There you have it.
Right. I'd be fine with that. Yeah. Elijah Riley.
Yes.
Are you bringing back Godwin?
Oh, am I? Yeah, I'm bringing him back because he's cheap and it's competition. I'm still going to bring in competition though. Yeah.
Elijah Riley.
Yeah, I like Elijah.
Sure.
I think
like
he's
him.
Smart, tough, absolutely. Cheap too, but I think he's a good player. We saw him obviously in the preseason. We saw him in the regular season.
Yeah,
he's
backup
dependable,
safety,
man.
backup slot corner.
Yeah, he's dependable.
Nope. Chappelle Russell. No, I don't care. You're gone.
Yeah.
Christian Kuntz.
Yes, bring my dog back.
I don't remember a bad snap.
Heck yeah, that's my dog. Bring my dog back. Let's go. Charlotte Valley's finest.
Now we're getting into the Snoop Dogg Who version of this list.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wren.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do that.
You're gone.
All right. Okay.
What are you doing with him?
Listen.
Are you bringing him back for competition?
This is my thing, man. He's technically a practice squad guy.
Do you know what side of the...
he's a practice squad guy.
Wait. Do you know if he plays offense or defense?
No, he's D-line. He's practice squad, though. Yeah.
I would have guessed O-line.
No, that's Cook. Cook's the O-line. Cook the tackle. Yeah, man. But low-key, Cook was straight in the preseason last year, bro. I like Cook.
Well, yeah. Cook, I'm hearing...
If I had to choose between... I'm taking Cook over Wren if I had to choose, because Cook played well last year.
I would, too. Yeah. So here's what I'm hearing about Cook. He could be like James Pierre-esque for us.
Why y'all doing
like
this,
the up and comer?
Why y'all doing
like
this?
The project on the offensive line?
Stop it, because he was the camp darling last year. People was liking him in training camp last year.
Like Al Villanueva, Mike Hilton.
They liked him last year. So that's why, like,
when I'm waiting in the wings.
That's why I'm like, I know I want to bring Cook back with Wren. I'm not tripping on it.
Could Cook be our starting left tackle?
The only reason, if you're bringing Wren back,
I know that's a hot take of a question, but
yeah, that's a very hot take, bro. That is super hot.
Mid-season?
That's super hot take, bro.
Mid-season, almost like we need to get him in there. An injury or something happens.
Yeah, for me, man, I don't mind. You bringing Cook back for camp purposes, like you gonna compete. But that's the stage of the roster where we're at when we're talking about Wren, and even when we're talking about Cook. Both of them dudes is like, yeah, you could bring them back, but they have no guarantees. They still gonna have to earn it, because when you're at that part of the roster where you're either the 6th or 7th offensive lineman or you're the practice squad D tackle, you don't have a lot of stake, within the organization right now. So you do have to kind of prove it. So that's my only thing with it, man. But yeah, I don't have an issue with either one of them coming back to compete. Like I said, definitely Cook, but Wren could definitely pull up too, man.
Jeremiah Moon, we just signed him, so I don't even know why he's on this list.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we just picked him up, so I think he's gonna be around. He'll be edge depth,
right?
Competition for edge rusher. I don't know much about him, but I saw we just signed him, so I don't think we're letting him walk anytime soon.
They say he shouldn't be. Yeah. I like it though.
That's the list.
I like it, bro. Salute that, man.
We ain't stressing about our unrestricted free agents though. In general,
that's a good problem to have this year. Because think about in the past, it's been different, man.
I'll be honest, if all of them walked, I'd be fine.
We weren't tripping on any of it. I would agree.
Mason would be my top priority. If I had to rank him, Mason would be my top guy.
I go Mason and then Levi. I need a corner. If Levi leaves, now I have to get me a corner early. That's how I look at it. I'm not saying that he's a world beater, but if Levi Wallace is not on our roster, free agency or draft-wise, you got to take a corner early, or you got to spend to go get you somebody to replace that.
It all depends on what we do. Because I could maybe. What about Killebrew over Wallace?
Miles Killebrew over Levi Wallace. Levi Wallace plays cornerback in the National Football League, bro.
I guess what I'm talking about though is if we do sign a cornerback in free agency, then obviously Wallace priority is down the tubes.
But that's what I'm saying.
Whereas Killebrew, he's got his own little specific.
This
rule.
Is what I'm saying. Killebrew leaving. It's a lot easier to replace Miles Killebrew. Levi Wallace leaving, you're not going to draft something in the 6th or 7th round and say, hey, come in here and try to replace Levi Wallace. You're going to have to draft something in the 1st or 2nd round and say, come in here and replace Levi Wallace. Or you got to spend $4 million plus in free agency to come in here and replace Levi Wallace. That's what I'm saying. I just think for Killebrew, we're talking about a teamer. Teamer versus corner, a starting corner in the NFL. I just think they two different ball games. So that's why for me, I'm like, I don't love Levi's play, but you still got to get somebody that's competent opposite JPJ. You wouldn't want it to be Pat P out there. And that's partly because at least we saw with Levi, we felt, all right, you could do some stuff, and that's why we was able to put Pat P at safety.
I don't want Levi as CB2 no matter what, though.
But that's why. But I'm agreeing with you with that. But he still was our CB2, and he still gave us quality snaps last year and this year. It wasn't the best, and it got worse this year than it was last year. But to act as if he gave us no type of production, he still gave you 4 picks a year ago. Think about that, man.
I guess what I'm saying is even if we sign Levi Wallace, I think I still want to get a better cornerback in free agency or draft one in the 1st or 2nd round.
And that's fair too, man. All I'm saying is you still going to have to replace Levi in that equation, right? So I'm like, yo, at least instead of me having to replace Levi and bring that other guy, at least I already got this, bring this, and now this can go to my 3 now.
Whereas, I don't know if we're getting a dude blocking punts like Miles Killebrew off the streets right now.
How many punts did he block this year?
2. I mean, got all pro.
I'm not tripping on it.
Everyone else on this list, you're talking just depth guy, you know?
Yeah. Like them.
But Levi's in the top 3. I'd probably I'd have Levi in the top 5.
I just think that
I would like Quan back.
The same way people have looked at, oh man, this guy can easily replace this guy at that position. This guy can easily do this. And then we kind of see it play out and we're like, well, dang, it isn't actually that. Or this guy is actually better than what we thought it was. I just think Levi Wallace is another example of that, man.
I think he's a valuable guy to have around. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm not stressing about any of these dudes walking. Man. We're in a good situation.
I would agree.
We don't have any big name or high priced guys right now. Like, man, yeah, the top guy is Levi Wallace. Like, in terms of what
money,
he was getting.
And that was what,
average,
4 mil, right?
Yeah. And the next guy's Montravius Adams at 2.5.
We had a great position, bro.